It's Sunday. I have a long work week ahead of me, and our only goal is to read as much as possible. So, hey, my bookish besties, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Adrienne. If you're new here, I like to read a little bit, so I figured I would take you guys along for a realistic corporate America girly week with me. I do these pretty regularly over here on my channel. I work a full, 8 to 5 job with an hour commute every day. So I like to do these to show how much a, just normal human being girly pop reads in 1 week. We have some books here that I really, really want / need to read. I have 2 books that I have checked out from the library. I have To Clutch a Razor by Veronica Roth. It's pretty short. It's the second book in like a little, actually I don't know how many books are going to be in this series, I guess. And then I also have Writers and Lovers by Lily King. I really, really want to read Heart Lover. So these are both due this Saturday, I want to say. So we need to read these. I've also slowly been working my way through The Last Contract of Isako. That sounds right. I've been slowly working my way through The Last Contract of Isako. I can't say her name for some reason, but I'm slowly making my way through this. It is the book of the month pick for May. I also technically had an advanced copy of this that I never finished. I am about 60% through. My audiobook is unfortunately returning to the library tomorrow. Not happy about that because I feel like I don't want to finish the book unless I have the audiobook. I've been binging the off-campus books recently. Last weekend I started and scrapped a off-campus reading vlog because I just read them simply way too fast to be giving coherent updates. But I am still working my way through the score. I was hoping I could finish this today, and I actually had a busy Sunday. I edited a video, had 2 book club meetings, and it is now 10 p.m. But alas, I'm going to bring you along with me as we do this realistic week of reading. I will let you know kind of how much we read each day and what we got up to. But I will see you tomorrow for the vlog to actually begin. It's Monday. I did a little bit of reading today at work. I got through about 30 pages. Every time I go to record, my sweet baby doggies decide that is the perfect time to have a squeaker toy. Is that a toy? Can I see it? Can I play with you? Can I play with you? Oh, you're so strong. You're so strong. You're so strong. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. But anywho, Misty. Okay, there you go. What I was saying, I read about 30 pages today. I'm struggling with this book a little bit, to be honest. I'm reading The Last Contract of Isako. I have seen a lot of discussion online about this book and about how it was severely mismarketed, and I have to agree. I also think that it kind of loses the plot halfway through. We have spent the last almost 100 plus pages in the POV of a character who's not Isako. Also, if you can see how nasty my nails are, don't judge, okay? I peeled them all off at work today. We'll redo them tomorrow, don't worry. But anywho, I am so tired of spending all of this time in a POV of someone who's not Isako. It's literally The Last Contract of Isako. Why have I been in this random guy, well, not random, but random guy's POV for a third of the book? In a way, it's cool because there's this scene where she's hunting this guy who she thinks might be a murderer. One of her friends is dead, one of her apprentices, and she basically finds who she thinks is the murderer. And the last thing we see from her is her confronting said potential murderer. And then it flashes back to 3 years prior or something like that. And we are now following the POV of the guy who's dead, which is cool. But also I just feel there's a lot of fluff. There's just so much plot in here that I feel is so irrelevant because we're basically learning what happened prior to him dying, which I guess is cool, but it just feels so random. And yeah, honestly, I feel the urge to DNF this, but I am so close to being finished that I think I'll just power through. And I also feel bad because I did receive an ARC for this book. And obviously I didn't finish it because I'm reading the Book of the Month copy I got. But yeah, I really just think this book suffers pretty poorly from poor marketing. It is described as like a epic space opera where she's like a samurai for hire basically, and we are following her on her last contract. So you hear that and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to be reading about like a, you know, an assassin in space." But really, this is more like a murder mystery that happens to take place on kind of like a planet similar but distant from ours. Like there are mentions of stuff that are different. Like they have to, you know, what am I trying to say? They have to like ration their water supply and stuff like that. But other than that, it's like we are more so hearing that she used to be a badass assassin lady, but we're not really seeing it. And I really thought this was going to be like a super action-packed space opera where we're following her in her last contract. Which, like, she is doing that. It's just, it's way, way, way different, I feel like, than what it's marketed as. But anywho, that's a long-winded way to say we've read a little bit today. It is about 9:15 p.m. I think I'm going to read some more tonight before bed. I have the audiobook through my library, but it was technically due today, and I have 5.5 hours remaining on the audiobook. But I don't know, like I'm scared to hit the X because I'm worried that if I exit out of this, it's going to go ahead and return. So I think I'm going to try to finish the rest of it tonight. But if I do it on 3.5 times speed, or maybe it only goes up to 3 on this app. Yeah, it only goes up to 3. So it's a little under 2 hours. I think I could realistically finish this tonight before bed if I get started pretty soon. It's 9:30, by the way. But I also really want to finish the score. And then I also need to read my book club book we made on Sunday. And then I have these 2 other books that are all due at the library on Saturday. So I think we are kind of on a reading binge tonight. We're gonna try to power through. What I'm thinking, this is my tentative plan, okay? I'm thinking we finish as much of the last contract tonight as possible so that if my audiobook does return, it's almost done. And then I think tomorrow, on Tuesdays, I get to work from home. I telework. I think tomorrow on my breaks and stuff, and like I usually log off about an hour and a half earlier than when I go to my work like in person. So I think tomorrow, during all that extra time, we're going to try to read the score because I'm about 50% through, maybe like 40, and to clutch a razor because this book is so short. In this book, I've already started. And then, if we have time, we're going to try to start The Correspondent because, again, I think I could finish that in one sitting. I just need to do it. But that is our book club book. But, anywho, I will update you tomorrow with our final page count for Monday. Okay, it's Tuesday. It's my lunch break. I have finished the last contract of Isako just now. I think I'm going to rate it of 3 stars. I didn't hate it. That scared the heck out of me. That's a timer saying I need to leave here in a moment. But anywho, I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it, to be honest. It was incredibly well written, but I think I touched on this a little bit yesterday. It was pretty mismarketed. When I applied for the ARC, I genuinely thought that it was going to be, you know, a samurai in space. And instead it was basically like a murder mystery that then resolved incredibly fast. Like all these plot reveals and twists happened in the last, like, probably 100-ish pages just for them to basically get resolved and pushed away incredibly fast, and then it's just over. And I found that really unsatisfying, to be honest. Like I said, I do think the writing was incredible. I plan to read Jade City. It's just this specific story didn't really do much for me. But in other news, I did read a little under 200 pages, this much today, because I didn't read at all after my update last night. But anywho, we have now finished this. I think next I want to pick up To Clutch a Razor, but I also don't know if this is going to be too similar to the last contract of Isako. I also have The Correspondent, or The Score I could read, which I might go back to The Score for this afternoon. I don't know. I'm still on my lunch break though, so I have a little bit of time I could read now. But like I mentioned, my alarm went off, so I do have an errand I need to go run. I have to run to the library. Our summer reading program just started yesterday, so I need to go pick up my thing. Our summer reading program, you just have to read 15 minutes a day, and if you complete it, you get a coupon for a free bag of books at the library sale. Like, yep, sign me the frick up for that. But anywho, I think I'm going to go ahead and start The Correspondent next, because it kind of has a timer. The Score is what I am in the mood to read, but I don't have to finish it. This one, if I don't finish in time, I won't be able to discuss at book club. But anywho, I'll catch you guys up a little bit later once I've read some more. It is time to officially go read. It is really nice outside, so I think I want to go read in my hammock for a little bit. I do technically have a workout class tonight if I decide to go. I can't decide if I want to go or not. I haven't been in like 3 weeks, but I'm just so tired. And there are so many other things I would rather do, but also you have to stay active, so we'll see what I do. But either way, I think I'm going to go outside and read some of The Correspondent. We'll see how far I get in. I have read the first 10% so far, and first impressions, it's just okay. I have heard that most people don't love it until the very end, which I don't like a book like that. Basically, if you haven't heard about The Correspondent, this follows a lady named Sybil as you kind of read these letters that she has been writing. Some of them are emails, some of them are letters, etc. And it's just kind of boring. Like, there's a story, kind of, but at least so far, 10% in, it's more so just kind of like vibes. Like, you're just kind of getting, it just feels very random. I don't know. But I'm going to keep reading it. I think it'll be a fast read. So let's go out to the hammock. I did also just remember that I do technically have a video I need to edit tonight. So I think I will read some of this, figure out if I want to go to my workout class or not, and then edit for a little bit. Oh my goodness. I love YouTube, but editing takes so long. Especially when you want it to be perfect. And it's really cutting into my reading time, guys. Anywho, time to go to the hammock. Gotta go set this bad girl up. Okay, freaking time to read. Oh, I love this thing. I genuinely don't understand how this, you want to hear this too? Yeah. I don't understand how this book is going to be a movie or a show or whatever it's been picked up for. I genuinely don't see how they could do this unless you just like are following the characters as they reenact what's happening in the letters. But I feel like the major part everyone loves is the fact that it's written in letters. So it's like, how are you going to translate that? Do you see squirrels? Yeah? Anywho, I'm going to keep reading, I guess. Hi, baby girl. Okay, I've gotten up to 40%. I just don't care. I just feel like it's really boring. Like, nothing's happening. There's a I think I mentioned this earlier. There is technically a plot, but like it doesn't feel like it. Like pretty much nothing is happening. And I was kind of hoping I could read it in one sitting because I do fear that this is one of those books that if I stop in any capacity, I'm just not going to finish it. But unfortunately, I do have a video to edit for you guys. So we're going to take a pause on the book. So far today, it says I'm on page 110. So I've read probably about 350-ish pages if I had to guess, because I think we had read a little under 200. So maybe exactly 300 pages. I will update you guys with either an update on my book or with an update on my total page count for the day. But anywho, let's get editing. Hello and happy Wednesday. It is super late at night actually, so before we discuss our pages for the day, let's go ahead and get ready for bed. Much better. Today at work I read 42 pages of To Clutch a Razor. This is book 2. I don't know how many there are going to be, but this is the second book after When Among Crows, I want to say is the name. I really liked it. I think I mentioned in an earlier video perhaps that I couldn't really remember what happened in book 1. So I did read a recap, and since reading the recap, it is really, really good now that I kind of remember what's happening. Basically, we pick up right where we left off. We are following our characters as they explore the consequences of their actions from book 1. I like it a lot. It's a really quick read. The audiobook is less than 6 hours, so definitely think I can finish this. I'll probably read a little bit more tonight and then finish it hopefully tomorrow. It's due back at the library this Saturday, and today is Wednesday. So we have a few days, but then I also have a second book from the library I'm hoping to pick up. I also still kind of need to finish the score. I can't remember if I mentioned this in an earlier update or not. I am debating DNFing. I'm just bored. And I've heard that it doesn't really get good until the second half. And I'm at 40%. But like, and I already have spoilers for what happens. Like, I know the big, like, dramatic thing that happens in Dean's book. So I'm kind of like, do I care? Do I care? I don't know. But I might as well finish it. I was listening to the audiobook version on Spotify, just for them to take it off Spotify, so, which is hindering my want to finish it, to be honest. But anywho, I'll update you guys again tomorrow with the amount of pages we read. Today was such a busy day, but I'm hoping tomorrow maybe we can get some good reading done. Okay, it is Thursday. I just finished The Correspondent on my lunch break. Let's talk about it. I also need to figure out how many pages of this I just read. How many pages even total is it? 280 total pages. So I read about 150 this morning to finish that. But anywho, all that to say, I decided to go with a 3-star personally. I don't think this book was bad. I just thought it was really boring. I do think that the formatting was very, very unique. Like, having everything written through a letter was super unique. Never read anything like that before. But I do think that that was also the weakest part of the book. The fact that everything was told to us instead of showing just made me feel super detached from all the characters. Like, I didn't really care about anyone's stories. I mean, obviously, I kind of cared about Sybil, but not really. And this is like, I'm not going to say a direct spoiler, but this is like spoiler adjacent, so skip forward a little bit if you would like. But she has this big secret she's been holding on to her whole life. When it was revealed, it was very, how do I say this? It was very just like underwhelming, I guess. She's like, oh my god, I have such a deep, dark secret. It wasn't that crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't care. I don't like it when plots are show or tell, not show. And this one is incredibly tell, not show. Like, she's literally writing a letter. Okay, and it'll be like, hi, blah, blah, blah. In this past month, I've read 3 books that were really good. Here's the titles. And just to let you know, like, my friend is staying with me, and I also got asked out on a date. And then the next person replies, like, a couple of months later, sorry for not responding. I was really busy. You know, my husband's really sick. To which Sybil responds a couple of months later, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear about your husband. The kid who's living with me has been really taking a lot of my attention, so I haven't had time to reply either. And it's just like, okay. Like, and anywho, it's like, I just don't care. I just don't care. And yeah, like I said, I do think that the formatting was unique, but I do think it was the weakest part because the plot just felt kind of choppy and broken up, and I didn't care about any of the characters because I was kind of just learning about them through brief little glimpses into their lives. I'm really curious how they're going to make this a movie because obviously the main point of this book, and I think why people have latched onto it so much, is the correspondence. But to make it a interesting movie that someone's going to want to watch, they need to include the, how do I say, the story, the plot. Which, like, also this plot spans, like, 4 years. I don't know. I wish I loved this one as much as everyone else. I really thought I was going to as well, which kind of sucks, but anywho, that's the correspondence. I have some work I need to do, obviously. It's a working day, but I do think this afternoon, as I get time, where'd the book even go? Found her! I do think this afternoon I'm going to try to finish To Clutch a Razor. I read up to page about 42 yesterday, so it is 224 total. So I do think I could finish this today. It's pretty short, pretty easy. It's like a, little novella size. So I will update you guys once I have more to say, but for now, I need to get back to work. I'm gonna be honest, it is several hours later. I did finish To Clutch a Razor earlier this afternoon, so I'm not sure. I rated it a 4 on Goodreads, but I think it's realistically like a 3.75-ish. Like, it was really good, but same complaint as When Among Crows. I think this book should have been longer, which, granted, it's only a novella. But I don't know if there's going to be a 3rd book, and it's definitely an open-ended ending. But I do like it. Like, it expanded really well on the magic and the lore of the world that we established in the 1st book. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling conflicted. Basically, this series is about these people who fight demons. Think like Grimm, that TV show from way back when. It's like that. Like, there are certain people who have these magical abilities to see humans that are, like, not fully human. Like, some are owls or crows, etc. Different, like, demon-type creatures. And our main character is one of those knights. And he is hunting the people. But the way these knights fight is they have this ability to split their soul in half. And then they have a sword that, like, I believe is made out of their spine. Which is kind of crazy, but really cool. But, finished this one. And then I did start Writers and Lovers. I'm really liking it so far. I am 51 pages into it. It is a really quick and easy read. It's not divided up into chapters. It's just kind of like one giant string of consciousness. I didn't read the blurb on this one, to be honest. I just knew I wanted to read it to be able to read Heart the Lover. But this one is basically following this girl. Can't even remember her name, if I'm being honest. She, like, mentions it in a very brief passing. It says Casey Peabody, but I feel like she said something else when she introduced herself. But basically her mother has recently passed away, and I believe she is torn between these 2 men, and you're just kind of following her on her everyday life. So far I've learned she is like a waitress at this restaurant, and she is aspiring to be an author. And that's pretty much all I've got so far. It is set in the 1990s. But yeah, I really like this one too. I really like this writing style where it's just kind of like, someone just kind of like ranting about their life almost. But Anywho, I think I will finish this tomorrow. My combined total pages for the day is probably about, well, no, because I forgot. I finished the correspondent this morning. So I'm probably at about 300-ish pages, but I'll update you guys once I read some more, either tonight or tomorrow. Hi guys, it's Thursday. I did some reading after we spoke yesterday. I got an ARC copy of Prince of the Sun. This is the newest standalone fantasy by Emma Noyes. She wrote the Soul of Shadow trilogy, but anywho, since it's an ARC, I don't have page numbers. My guess is I read about 15 pages. I read the first chapter and a half. But anywho, today on my lunch break, oh no, I'm dropping everything. Anywho, today on my lunch break, I've been reading more Riders and Lovers. I am so obsessed. I don't know where this plot's going though. I have a bad feeling about what I think is going to happen. She just had some like news that she learned about. And one of the characters she's dating, I mentioned this book is kind of like a love triangle. One of the characters she's dating had something happen in their life that kind of relates to that news. So I'm scared that that is the trajectory of this book. But anywho, also just to share while I'm here, I got an almond croissant today after craving one for like 2 weeks. Perfection. I'm so happy I got it. But anywho, I got this fun package in the mail. I thought we could open it up together. Oh my goodness. Oh, there was a free sticker in there. This is like super weird. Oh, I thought I thought it was in, like I thought it was a divided folder thing. Anywho. Oh my gosh. So I saw this girl on Instagram who is a Cosmere content creator. Her name is Cosmere Mo. She recently got some bookmarks from this company called Alley Inks. Here is her little, here's her little company, and I'll link it down below if I remember as well. But Alley recently released these bookmarks that are all of the Cosmere weapons. So naturally I had to get Nightblood. I love it so much. A part of me, in hindsight, wishes I had ordered the one without the tassel so that I could hang it up on my wall. But I also think I'll probably use it as a bookmark. So, you know, oh well. I also want to get a Nightblood tattoo. Like, imagine that right there. Ooh! But it came with this little free sticker that's super cute. I believe this is her logo based on the back. It says, "It means the world to me that you chose to place an order with my small shop." I love it. Okay, so these are the 2 prints that I got. First, I got this beautiful knight. I'm really in my knight era right now, like my Renaissance era. And then I got this portrait, which I actually recently learned, I think, might be inspired by an art piece that's in Harry Potter. I need to do some more investigation on this because I saw a TikTok that was this girl at TJ Maxx, and it was essentially the same piece as this, like a little altered obviously, but it was like POV, you found the Harry Potter portrait or whatever, and it's a little unicorn in its little, in like a little playpen jail thing. It's just so whimsical. I love it, and I think they will look really cute together up on my wall. I have a whimsy fairy piece up there that I think these will look really cute kind of near. I need to redo my wall. That's on my agenda to do soon, is to redo the whole wall, to be honest, because my husband and I are wanting to build some custom built-in bookshelves, we think, and to do that we're gonna have to rearrange this whole situation we got going on. But anywho, it is, I think earlier I said happy Thursday. It is definitely Friday, and today I do in fact have work, but it is a short day for me. I have work until about 3, so we'll get off pretty early today. But anywho, just thought I'd share my fun unboxing with you guys and my little update. I think I'll be able to finish Riders and Lovers probably before the work day ends, if I'm being honest. On Fridays, like, a bunch of people always take off, so I haven't been super busy today. But anywho, oh my gosh. Also guys, today is giving me major whiplash. I got emailed about some more ARCs, which I'm super excited about. And obviously I got this ARC last night. I got my almond croissant You know, stuff's looking up. We're having a good time. And then, bam, Anthony Stewart Head died. Ah! He plays Giles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you were not aware, he is one of my favorite actors of all time. Giles is one of my favorite characters of all time. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is one of my favorite shows of all time. So, yeah, it's been a little bit of a bipolar day for me, I guess, because we've had some extra highs and some extra lows. But anywho, I have a massive to-do list today as well, so I'll keep you updated as I continue to do stuff. Hopefully we will get some good reading done. I probably will have to listen to an audiobook later today. I desperately have some some life things I need to do. You know the drill. Laundry, dishes, the things that just never stop coming. I need to do them. I can't even remember the last time I updated you. I think I was on my lunch break at work. Or no, you know what? I think we've spoken since then. I think since then I have finished Heart the Lover. I returned both my books to the library. And then I went today, a new Death Cab for Cutie album released, and they are like one of my all-time favorite bands. So I went to an album release party for them this evening. And I won like a signed poster for them, so pretty cool event if you ask me. But something that did happen. My Kindle, my headphones, and my phone are all dead. Which means we are going to pick up this bad girl that I've been reading for like 3 months now for no good reason. Something about having an eyeball only read, it doesn't motivate me. Also, I've discovered something about myself recently. I think I like a read that's on a timer. So like a library book alone, you know, an audiobook that has a timer. I have a meeting, like a book club meeting that I need to read for, because when it's something like this, I'm just reading at my own leisurely pace, I just don't finish. But then the timed books stress me out, so explain that to me. But anywho, it's pretty late, I'll be honest, but I do think I'm going to read a little bit of this. I'm in the mood for a thriller today, since returning not Heart the Lover, Writers and Lovers. I have picked up like 4 different books. I am technically in the middle of an arc that might already be out. I'm a little confused on its release date. It's called In Case I Go Missing. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's reminding me a lot of that one book with Pippa and the podcasts. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It reminds me a lot of kind of those vibes. But like I mentioned, my Kindle died, so I am not reading that. I also listened to about 20% more of All Hail Chaos today. It is an advanced listener's copy of a book that's now out, but I started it a couple of videos ago as well. But anywho, that's pretty much all my updates. I discovered I don't love All Hail Chaos. I don't dislike it, but I do find it really confusing. And I forgot I'm not a huge fan of Sarah Reese Brennan's, is that even her name? Not a huge fan of her writing style. She writes kind of like I think the stories are really cool, but she almost does like these like time jumps in between her chapters, and I find it so confusing. But like I said, I like her stories, and I like her as a person a lot. But anywho, I will let y'all know how much, if any, of this book I get read tonight, and I will update you with the final page count tomorrow. So, funny story, it's actually a couple weeks later. I don't really know what happened, but I never closed out this vlog. I just dropped the ball. But I do have a list here of my total page counts for that week. I read a total of 1,141 pages during my corporate America week, which is pretty good because honestly, the week that I chose to do this and the weeks leading up to me actually releasing this vlog have been so busy with work. It's like literally crazy. But anywho, let me know down in the comments below, how many pages do you think you average in a week? I think somewhere between 800 to 1,200 is pretty average for me, but like I said, let me know what you think your average is, and let me know what you've read and loved recently. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.